How, how long have you guys been in real estate?
3 years.
3 years. A month.
Couple months.
A couple months. Good. This is good. No, let's take the red one. Let's go get a red one.
I got you.
Thank you. When you thought about getting into, did you say a couple months?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to see me repeat a lot of what you say because we're moving a little slower with the cold medicine. So I'm trying to really make sure I'm hearing you and not just asking the question and then it just disappears. How many of you hesitated getting into real estate because you're not, quote, good at sales? Yeah? Are you good at sales?
I feel confident. I did it.
Yeah, don't this isn't like oh man, he's freaking cocky. Nothing like that. This is a safe space. You can openly share.
No, I mean, it's, part of me, yeah, I guess, there's always a confidence factor. But,
Confidence, sales is a confidence. It's a strength, not a weakness. I like that way that we put that. Strength or weakness? Weakness? Becca, what do you think? Somewhere in the middle. Well, that's perfect. All three spectrums. Just bring it all in, all the way home. Why did you decide to get into real estate?
just meets all my goals.
You wanted to get rich?
I want to get rich for sure. I mean, who
Honestly.
doesn't, right?
Yeah, literally. It's the real answer, right? What do you think, Ben?
Because I was interested, bought a condo. I didn't realize what was happening, so.
That first deal, you're like, I thought this was just like buying a car.
Yeah.
Like I just show up. How do I get the money? This is weird.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it intrigued you.
So, I'm sorry?
It intrigued you. Intrigued.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, intrigued. Yes.
It's cool. Rebecca, what about you?
I wanted to be an architect for a really long time, but I didn't really like doing the math part of the engineering stuff.
Math is the worst.
And I got into building tiny homes, and then
Get
it was
out.
really fun to work with clients and stuff. And then I was like, I think I really like real estate.
Jeez. We need to talk after. Do you have blueprints I can buy? You do? Like for reals? Oh my gosh. I've been looking for tiny home blueprints for a while. I've got a friend that we want to try it. We want to build a few of them. Why not? Right? We got time. Time's our friend. Good for you. Sounds like we've got a whole slew of different reasons of why we came. Real estate for me was, I kind of stumbled upon it, I think. I had started doing construction. I dropped out of college to do custom home building and remodeling. I remember the day when my wife came to me and was like, yo, I'm just never going back to work. I'm done. She was pregnant. And I was like, I was working at Tucanos at the time. It's like, yeah, Tucanos is not going to cut it. Like, providing for a family. Given I was an hourly manager there, but it wasn't something I could make enough to really propel us. So I said, I'm just going to screw it. I'm done with school. I dropped right out. I jumped right into construction to start working as a project manager. That made it just over a year. And I was like, I don't want to have a heart attack in my 40s. Like, managing subs is the actual worst. The ironic thing is I still do it. So, whatever. I left that and I started doing sales. I'm good at sales. I felt like sales was always a strength of mine. And I started to work in software, working in different jobs. The one that I had started doing was, the first sales job was selling water tanks, emergency water storage tanks. People that wanted to be a food prepper, the preppers do. They were freaking wild kitties. We went to trade shows, traveled around and did that. It was great. Sales started to dip, and I could see writing on the wall, and I said, do I need to go find another job? They said, yeah. My child had just been born. My second child had just been born. How do we do this? Sorry. That is just going to be gross on there. I'm sorry. Okay? We're just cough all over everything. When I finished that, I went over to a software company, Fix Your Funnel. I started to train people on how to fix their sales funnel. It's a terrible name, wasn't it? Fix Your Funnel. Dude, I watched all seasons of Hell's Kitchen. There's a lot. I watched most of Friends. A lot of that show Lost. I could sit at my desk, get in there in the middle of the day, turn on my computer, turn it on for inbound chat, inbound calls open, sit there and watch TV. I'd get a call or two. I'd close them every time. Make $200-300 a day. So I was doing the math, and off those subscriptions, where I got paid based on my tiers, I was pulling in like 70 grand. It's kind of perfect, wasn't it? But you already know it. I was so depressed. Like, literally depressed. Because all I did every day was watch TV. I did nothing to grow my skills. I hated it. In the end, I ended up reaching out to a friend, longtime mentor that had gotten me into the first sales job. He was the landlord of my first apartment. And I said, dude, I'm miserable over here. I'm making money, like man money. That's what we call it. But like, I'm sad. Are you guys hiring over at your company? He goes, we don't pay as much as that, though. That's really hard to make that much as a sales guy. And I said, I would rather make less just to be challenged. He said, all right. So I went to work at a company called REDX, Real Estate Data Exchange. The Real Estate Data Exchange is a software that teaches real estate agents how to prospect. And I loved it. I thrived in there until I felt complacent again. I could take my early morning shift, close my big deals, could close people in my sleep, could always land middle of the tier, upper tier. There was one guy that was a beast. He's one of my best friends still to this day. I call him Seabiscuit because when people, that movie Seabiscuit where the horse, it had to have a horse head to head with it, and then once it looked the other horse in the eye, it took off. Remember that? If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's freaking awesome. That's how he was. Anybody that ever got close to him in sales, he'd get pissed. Not like angry at the person, just like silent competitive. And he would just turn it on and he would smoke everybody. And he always existed like that. So I smoked his trash one time and I was like, I did it. I beat him. And that's not fun anymore. It's not fun every day chasing the same person. So I just chilled. And it was about 1.5 years in, and I went, I think I'm on the wrong end of this phone call. I'm training real estate agents how to make thousands of dollars selling expireds for sale by owners, leads, right? How to convert them. And I'm making $100, $200 a pop off their subscription. I'm on the wrong end. So I went to real estate school, partnered up with a guy. You guys ever complained about the PC's 50-50 program? Huh? It's okay. Shh, Cameron's not here. Yeah, I was on a 70-30. The other way. I was 30%. Fetchers. Those little monkeys, man. It was bad. After 6 deals, I went, this sucks. Like, this is not working out. I'm giving them 70% of my check, and I'm finding it. But I had worked for a year, full-time job, full-time real estate at night. And that first year of my career, I did 12 transactions. And it was hard. I was excited. Everything I dreamed of. One of the spots that I had a specialty in is I had this construction background. I have a landscaping background from high school days, and just after high school I worked as a lake park attendant, so I learned how to landscape well. And I knew how to negotiate and fight. And I got really good at getting my clients more money. It was like a game. As soon as a listing would come up, I would go into that listing and I would fight to the very end, just to smoke the other agent on the other side. I burned a lot of relationships at the beginning, that first year, just absolutely hammering people because I didn't like it that they treated me like I was a new kid, like I didn't know what I was doing. And yet I had all this background of construction and maintenance, and I knew how to handle things. I decided to kind of slowly start to shift and change my perspective. What creates a true win-win? Is there such thing as a win-win in a transaction? And when we look at the art of negotiations for real estate, I don't know if you understand, but you negotiate in absolutely every aspect of your life at all times of your life. Any of you guys have kids? Cameron's already negotiated. He's got enough. He's negotiated 5 times this morning. Just kidding. He didn't. Yeah. They woke up. Battle. Whether it's family relationships, whether it's work that we're trying to do, why don't we just even look through our day or our morning? Rebecca, let's pick on you. Is that okay? What was the first thing you did when you woke up? You read your scriptures. Okay. After you read your scriptures, what'd you do? Took a shower. How'd you decide what you were going to wear? You had negotiations with yourself. What'd you eat for breakfast? Egg burrito. How did you decide to eat egg burrito? Were there other options? Egg burrito. On your way here, did you stop and get drinks or anything like that? Dropped your husband off at work? So do you guys rotate who takes the car? Or you run everywhere? Did you already figure out your lunch? If you were to look at your life and okay, if you really took every second of your morning and broke down each of your even activities to the point of what makeup you put on, everything. Every one of them was a decision, right? And negotiations, an easy way to define negotiations is decisions. At the end of the day, we all come with decision fatigue. Have you heard of this? Yeah. Decision fatigue is so real, and it is the enemy of your negotiation tactics. Once you lose your patience and your ability to perform top tier, you're going to automatically react a certain way to certain situations that you wouldn't react in another way. Does that kind of make sense? Right? Easy stuff. How many times, Ben, have you ever been short-tempered with someone over something that doesn't matter? A lot of times. And when you look at it, you go, why? It's decision fatigue, and you're tired of negotiating. A lot of times in our world, we call it, I'm going to draw a hard line, right? In the world of parenting, this line right here is what we call mom's yelling at me, right? Mom's yelling at me. How many times have you guys heard that? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. So we grow up listening to these thoughts. This is the way it is, right? Whether your mom raised you, whoever, right? This is it. And then you go into the professional world, and your job's to work through, at times, millions of dollars, $500,000, hundreds of thousands, and you're negotiating on behalf of another person. Most of them, it's the biggest purchase of their entire life. It's crazy, isn't it? And they're trusting you. So that's why at the beginning I was so excited to just fight. And I remember there was an agent, I was just smoking her trash, dude. Just beat the crap out of her. And she just said, I'm just done fighting you, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. But I had won. I knew that I was never going to be able to do a transaction successfully with that agent again, which in 2020 came out to be a real thing, and I was grateful that I had switched my tactic. Because in 2020, do you guys remember hearing about what was happening? The funny TikTok videos with the apple? Remember the apples? I'll pay $100,000 for that apple. You guys saw those? It's like 30, 40 people bidding on houses, and that's not an exaggeration. We would list a home, and I would, oh man, it was honestly a miserable time. You would have so many offers coming in, and they were all the same. And they were offering money over. Your phone was exploding with messages and calls. You couldn't control it. It was everywhere. You had to respond to them all, because if you didn't, you had that one haymaker that was going to be like, my client's Chinese and you never responded to us, so that's fair housing violations. You're like, holy crap. You didn't give me a chance to have equal rights, right? It was a super stressful time. It came down to when we were negotiating, there was no power in negotiating for the buyer. The buyer was going to eat it, right? But they were negotiating in a different way. How do I get this home? And I had to rely on relationships. It literally turned into, I would call agents and they would have my number saved from another transaction. And I'd be like, Cameron, man, you've done a deal with me. You know I'm good. Tell me what I got to do. Tell me what I got to do, man. This is the one. I'm going to close it for you. Because we came to a world where we were like, our top priority was who's the most realistic. Everybody was offering whatever they wanted. So who was real and actually going to close the transaction? And it came down to, did you structure it well? How is your stuff? Did you have all your ducks in a row? Were you in the process already? And I had a great year, honestly. I crushed it. And I relied on my relationships a lot. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that right now. But what we do have to deal with on a daily basis is our clients' expectations. And our clients' expectations when it comes to negotiations is always, how do you win for me? And your job as that's a little on. And your job is to try to figure out a way to keep the sides amicable, right? But solely represent your client and give them their wishes. So let's take into a real life scenario. I'm going to try to remove any names or addresses or anything so that you can't identify where this house is. Okay? Is that fair? I don't want you to know so that you figure out, because we're going to run into these people all the time. They're all over the place and they're running around us, okay? And I'm going to ask you to help me navigate how we negotiate. Okay, help me know if you understand this. We have been listed for 143 days. How many months is that again?
6.
Almost 6? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
It's like just under 6, about 5.
Okay. Originally we were at 1,079,000. Okay. PD is price drop, just so I don't have to write things out. We are at 1,049,000. Okay. What are the chances? This was done 20 days ago. Okay. What are the chances? Maybe it's 30. That my clients are getting that. They've been on the market 143 days. It was over 30 days ago we did the price drop. What are the chances that they are getting 1,049,000? What do you think, Brendan? Honest answer. Just give me your gut reaction. I'm a seller. Sorry, I'm the seller. Like 0, like for reals. You're not getting this. Step 1 is setting at realistic expectations. Okay. So every time my clients come to me and say, I had 2 conversations already this morning on my drive here, freaking Mondays. Our houses aren't moving. Do we do a big price drop? What do we want to do? And my first response always is, I'm good with that. Whatever number you drop to, they're going to ask for it less. So I need you to remember that. Build in those numbers, okay? So these guys are like, no, dude, we need to keep this. The neighbors, comps, where are they putting me at? Freaking 1 million even. There have been like 4 houses that came on right about 1 million, and they've already sold in the time that we've been sitting there. Freaking bird in the hand, dude, just stuck. Why? Because we are over the price. We're too high. We know we're too high. In comes an offer. The offer says, hey, what I'm going to do for you guys, okay? We need an undisclosed amount of time to close on this house. Okay? We don't care about the purchase price. We care about being under contract and getting this house. This is the buyer's agent, okay? So, okay, got it. We also need $15,000 in closing costs. Okay, why would they want $15,000 in closing costs? They're going to either buy the rate down or they're going to do a 2-1 buy down, right? You know how 2-1 buy downs work? 2% off your first year, 1% off your second year. But it's not like that money's actually discounted. It's put into what we call an escrow. So title company's holding it, and it's paying that portion of the interest payment. Okay? So I'm like, okay, they're probably doing a 2-1 buy down. They're doing that. They have a large sum of cash. The buyers need to sell a home in Idaho. The home is not listed, and it's not going to be listed for another 30 days. Will you sell us your home? Okay, my friends, what do we do with this? What do we do with this? How do we present this to our seller? Hit me, Ben.
You'll get what you want, but it's gonna take time.
It's going to be time. So what factors do I need to know, Rebecca, about my sellers? There's one piece of the puzzle I haven't brought up. What's a very important factor that would make this whole deal a go or a no-go? My girl, thank you. How motivated they are would be based upon where they're going. Do they have a place already? Good news for us, they didn't. So I went to my sellers. That was good teamwork. I liked that. I went to my sellers and I said, good news. I think I'm going to get you $50,000 more than everybody else. I think I can actually get you that full price. Now, we are going to pay concessions. Everybody else is paying concessions too, so don't stress about it. Stop freaking out. But we're going to be at $1,049,000 purchase. We went for it, guys. In comes the offer. The actual physical offer came in at what? $1,020,000. Ouch. What do we do here, my friends? We verbally agreed to this. And the agent, right now, bam, came in with this, okay? 50,000, 45,000 less, 44,000 less than we had agreed upon, okay?
You guys had agreed at 1,079,000?
49.
49. Okay. So 30,000.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. My client said, all right, follow this trail. I'll do it in blue now. Client said, I want you to counter back at $1,049,000. Buggers. And you know what? While we're at it, forget this guy. I want you to tell him that we're only going to pay him 2%, not 3%. This hurts. I know this agent very, very well. And I go, ugh. Our buyer's agent's worth every penny.
Especially right now.
Yeah. So I came back. All right. This, we said, is okay. So we both agreed to the $15K. That's already set in stone. We are just negotiating this and this. They come back again. Price, okay. This, okay. Closing. The other thing they came back with is we offered a time clause. You know what time clause is? Where we keep our house an active time clause. So if somebody else offers us more than this, we could go take it, but they have 24 hours to rescind their time clause. They came back and said, we don't really want that time clause, so what we're going to do is we're going to release our earnest money in stages. Every 3 weeks, we'll release you $2,500 in cash, like to the sellers. They can have it. Non-refundable. Up to $10,000. But as soon as we start releasing a portion of it, you guys take it off the market, like it's under contract. So if they cancel at that point, my clients get $2,500. At this stage, they would get $5,000. The next stage, they would have the full $10,000. Okay. Sounds like a win. Sounds like a pretty good win. But they came back and he said, hey, no, come on, dude. You got to get me a 2.5% commission. This is where it got wild, right? Because I'm sitting there trying to help my clients understand that they need to, easy, we're close. We got this, right? Everything's agreed upon. It actually looks like it might be a great situation for us. We got the price we wanted. How do you guys feel about that extra 0.5%? It's your call. The downside is this agent decided to say, if you don't, I'm going to take this home and I'll just take my clients to another place that will pay me. Ben, is that a no-no or is that a yes? That's a big no-no. That's a big fat no-no. This guy is personally hit right at the core now. We are now negotiating things that are not kosher, unethical. Actually, your literal NAR classes are literally about this. The lawsuits that we all just went through are literally about this freaking bull crap right here. So I've got an agent that's angry and threatening to blow up the deal. I've got a client that's stubborn and doesn't want to pay. And I get to negotiate in the middle. What do we do?
Seller technically decides the condition.
Well, they said no. And now I know if I say no, he's going to blow up the deal. Sure, but who's going to arrest him? No one. Complaints with the board of realtors and crap like that, you guys know that's a year out, right? Like if you go file an actual complaint on an agent, it's going to take them 1 year to investigate that. There ain't nothing that's going to be done. Let me just take that whole kit and caboodle out of your thoughts right now. An agent ever threatens you with being turned in? Okay, first, you shouldn't be doing things that you get turned in for. But if you just get a bully, like an absolute jerk that thinks that you're doing it and you're not, I just tell them all the time, yeah, please go ahead, dude. Come on, man. Investigative body, time for this.
Is your ERS at 3% for this?
Nope. I left it to be determined.
Okay. I mean, obviously, just to make the deal happen, you could split that.
Hmm.
Both get 2.5. That's not ideal, obviously, because that's your money.
I'm already under 2%. Me.
So you're
This is not me. This is just his.
right. So you're not at 3%.
Right. Yeah, I would never, ever, myself, never be at 3 and then negotiate theirs down. It's just a no-no because they're going to see it on the settlement statement and they're going to hate you for the rest of time. So don't ever do that. So I myself am at a 2, but I'm waiting for this guy to get off his high horse. Okay, I'm going to give you guys the trick of a century. This is what I did. Make a calculator, buddy. Remind me of what 1,049,000 times 0.02 is.
2%.
20,980. That's what I thought. Okay. So this 2%, all right, is $20,980. If I remember, the 2.5% is. You do that? Say it again. 26,000. Say it louder. So we are negotiating over 5,000 and change, right? I went to my clients and I let them know bluntly, this agent is violating our code of ethics. I'm just going to be straight with you. And then I'll take them somewhere else. In the counter, that we have, there's a whole lot of mess in here. And they snuck in this thing and they're talking about this commission here, just labeling it with the 2.3 EA. They're just titling what the section is. They're not even outlining the buyer's agent commission, right? Hail Mary tactic. I took my clients and I said, are you willing to give up another $1,000 and change? Sure, I don't care. Fine. I countered them at the seller is willing to pay the buyer's agent a total commission of $22,000. And we wrote it out in big, huge letters. And we sent it over. What did we do in that? We took away the negotiation from us to the seller. We gave him a little raise. Congrats, you made $1,020 more. What we did though is we notified the sellers in big words. we're not cheap. We're willing to give your client, your guy here that showed you this house, we're going to give him $22,000. Who wants $22,000? I want $22,000. They accepted it within 5 minutes. So what we learned, the threat of these things was coming from an agent side, was not coming from the sellers. It was a game. Thank you. From the buyers. Thank you. Good catch. Negotiations, if you let your emotions get into it, it's when it gets wild, right? So this agent, is violating the law by all sense of the matter, right? How appropriate is it for me to tell him that he's violating the law?
Or just pour gasoline on it.
It's just pour gasoline on it, right? We have, and it's funny enough, this whole transaction is going to be closing now. It worked out. They listed their house on the market in Idaho. They got it under contract within a week. This thing's going to happen. It's closing. My clients sold for $50,000 higher than the other houses in the neighborhood. It was good. Did those clients go and sign a builder agreement and cut me out of $45,000 after this? Yes, they did. What do you do? 45,000. They went and bought a, what is that? One
Oh,
point.
you're saying that your clients.
My clients, my sellers, they went and bought a new home. Little buggers. Yes, do I have a buyer broker? Of course I do. But if you have a buyer broker, sorry, not 43, it's 39,000. My bad. If you have a buyer broker agreement, what good is it unless you want to sue them? So they went under contract on a 1.3 million house, called me afterwards and said, you're not going to like this. But we went under contract and they said, no agents at all. We got 100,000 off the price. I still get paid out on this transaction, but I have an opportunity. I have a choice right then and there. Negotiations. What do I do? $39,000 is a lot of money. They're not my first person to screw me, and they will not be my last. It's going to happen over and over and over and over and over again in our careers. Having contracts is, again, only as good as the weight of the paper, unless you're willing to enforce it and fight them. If I'm willing to enforce it and fight them, I'm going to war with them and I'm suing them. Is it worth the negotiation? No. It never is. I have another listing right now, the ones that I was talking on the phone on my drive here. Same thing, close friend, bought a home with another agent. Ended up having problems because I had a property management background. For a while I did property management. I went over and it was near my actual home I lived in. I ended up helping him remodel the house because I have construction experience. We ended up working nights after nights after nights after nights because he's an old high school buddy. We're best buds. I ended up working for free for months. He fired that real estate agent, resold that house with me, went and bought another home with me, and then went and closed, or is listed this other one with me now. When he had originally called and told me, I am under contract on a home, and I am using this other agent, but I don't think he knows how to run rental comps. Will you run rental comps for me? Ben, how do you handle that?
How did you do it? That's a good question.
I said, yeah.
I mean, of course you do it, but you
I didn't.
know, like, hey,
No,
just let it go.
let it go. I give the rule that I use in this game is I let them have the benefit of the doubt once. Okay? The downside is I know that I'm going to be taken advantage of. Okay? I know that is, and it is okay in my personality I hate it when it happens, and I get quite angry. But this last one, when this guy called me on the phone casually to tell me that I just showed houses for 1.5 years to him, and whatever. Guys, when he said it, it didn't even cause my heart to flutter. I wasn't even reactive. It's kind of insane. Because I kind of anticipated it with him. I probably will never work with this client actually ever again. Right? For me, it's not going to be worth it in the end. But with others, it is. And I think all of it comes down to how comfortable you feel with that. I have had numerous situations where people have called me because they're buying a home with somebody else. And I'm like, what are you doing? But they want my expertise. They want my advice. It's okay. You can pick and choose those as they come. Some of them I give advice to, and I say, okay, I got you, because I know this will probably come around in the end. You'll come and work with me later. Some of them I know they can't, like if it's their mom that's the agent. I'm like, heck yeah, I got you. I'll take care of you. I know your mom. She's a good lady. Why would you not use your mom? I have had people not use their sibling because they've worked with me. So I've been on the opposite end, where I'm the cause that the other person's feeling bad that their family member didn't go with them. I've had my own sister buy a house without me, even though I've helped her sell and buy before. Guys, it happens. There's no way, and there's no way that you can emotionally continue to let those things pile on. You just move on. Just move on. It's not worth the breath that it takes to fight it. This one was a really tricky negotiation, and I brought this one up just because this one right here is a whole part of the game of how do you deal with having told the client ahead of time, you have expectations, you get undercut. Then after you get undercut, you're like, whatever, let's just counter it, and then you get in a sticky mess because you're negotiating something that you shouldn't be negotiating. All right. Every time I get into one of these negotiations, I do a simple thing. How do we both feel like we won? And I ask my clients often, what is the number that makes you feel like it's a no-go? Right? Just end, stop. The downside when you ask that, depending on your relationship with them, is your client's going to be like, you're just going to get me to there. I know you just want a commission. You just want to be done with me. So you have to be careful with that. I often lead with, I'm not going to try to just get this number, but I need to know just what your end stop is. I'm going to fight with all my power to get above that. But help me to understand so I don't have to waste time coming back to you if they verbally counter below your end stop, right? Give me some help here. Let me work with you. The one I had on my drive here is a divorced couple. He doesn't want to sell. She has given him 5 years to sell. So I have spent 8 months, that's correction, already in the negotiations, and it's only been between the two sellers. I don't even have an offer yet. How do you negotiate those? You're neutral. You work with both of them. You understand who has what feelings and what they're trying to accomplish, right? Each one of them has a feeling about where they want to list, where they want to sell. She wants her 50%. So she can just go do her thing. She's entitled to it. He wants enough, 50%, so that he can actually get enough cash to buy a new home and live in it, but he also wants a yard, and he also wants a nice house. And it's just not going to happen. It's not possible. So how do you deal with unrealistic expectations? What do you do there? Yeah. Yep. It's a long process. I have been working with him for 8 months, and I am now slowly getting him to the point that he will slowly drop price. It's an 8-month journey. to get him to understand that he is not going to get that. If I start off aggressively at the beginning saying, no, you're not getting that. Yeah, right, dude. The negotiations have failed because he is no longer going to be moving forward with me. Right? Is it really bad to say that the art of negotiating is knowing how to do manipulation? Because it's really all it is. Right? We'll just break down the brass tacks of this. You need to be good at manipulating. I pray, though, that you'll do it in an ethical way. That makes sense. You have a power as a real estate agent in your negotiating abilities. You know the numbers. It is very easy for you to be like, yeah, dude, just so you know, you're getting upset. You could ask for an extra $1,000, they'll do it. Because you're tired. You're done. It will happen. You'll get so exhausted of these clients. Some of them just absolutely suck your soul dry. Others, it's like a great joy. How do you keep enough in your own personal life, and that's your personal question to answer, that you have a reserve to always be able to unbiasedly handle these incoming questions, these incoming numbers, and you can respond to them without giving away your client's information, the things that they've trusted you with, giving away any sign of impatience or frustration about the deal or that it's going on. Because for some reason, every once in a while, one of these transactions just turns into an absolute horse crap show of madness, right? I mean, it's just, and you can't even describe what it is that we were preparing ourselves for. It just turned into a mess. And there's emotions in it, and we're all stuck in the emotions. So how do we work past it? There are a lot of really good books about this. Never Split the Difference is a great book about negotiations and how to discuss things.
The FBI again.
Yeah. And one of his tactics that I've used over and over and over and over again, and again, I get burned on this over and over and over and over again. I don't care. I use it. Is if you give someone a gift, they're more likely to say yes to you. So I give gifts to people, and in the end, that makes them feel obligated to use me. And the gifts I give them often are my time and resources and hands. So I'll go to people's houses and help them with remodel projects or landscaping, and they're stuck. They feel this obligation. They got to use me. Sometimes I still get burned because they're like, "Yeah, dude, I know you did that. That was for free, right? I still got my guy." Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It happens. I got to be okay with that. It's my choice. I just get on the phone with my mommy. I tell her all about how pissed I am. It's freaking awesome. She's a good mom. When you get into your negotiations, just play nice in the sandbox is what Dean's motto is. It's on the wall in his office. That's the best advice I can give to that. It's learning how to handle this kid that's violating laws. It's how to say it tactfully and kindly without looking like a D-bag. Yeah, was I a little sarcastic with him? You bet it. Did I text him and say, "Dude, good news, I got you more money," and then send him a counter for $1,000 more? Yeah, that was freaking funny. So freaking funny. But never once did I call him out and say, "You piece of shiz. You did this wrong." It's just not worth it. Not worth it. When it comes to negotiating for your due diligence period and all of that, I help my clients understand that it is appropriate to negotiate. It's appropriate to negotiate once in a transaction. It's annoying to negotiate twice in a transaction. Make sense? So we're going to win. Do you want to win at the beginning or in the middle? If we can go through a house and I can see that there's issues with the house, automatically I'm going to tell them we are going to probably negotiate in the middle. I see issues that are going to come up on the inspection report. Okay? And we're going to go that route. Or we address the fact that we see the issues while we walk through it and we negotiate up front because we want a better price then. I try to prepare my clients and let them know it is not well received for us to go twice. If we do an inspection though and it uncovers something that we didn't catch and nothing's that's been talked about and it's big, obviously it's normal to address that. But I'll never forget one of my first transactions, and the agent wrote home is being sold as is in the contract. And my client was like, I don't give a crap. Go back and ask for repairs. It's like, dude. I was new and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, buddy, you got it. And remember, I was a bulldog back then. I was like, fetch. Yeah, that guy was an attorney and he was like, that doesn't mean anything. I don't care. I'm asking for it. And they caved. They still gave us a couple $1,000s off our price. It was freaking sweet. It's tight. So tight. That's the big thing. Other things that I do in negotiations. Somebody comes at you hard on your due diligence inspections. Be versed and be educated in the space of what they're coming at you in. Okay? So if you know on your listing agreements that you have problems with the house, get ideas of what those prices cost to fix ahead of time. Get bids, physical bids, so that when somebody comes at you and they hit you with $15,000, you can say, we actually had that bid, it's $5,000. Idiot. This is what it would actually cost. A lot of people get hung up on, as a buyer, they want to lower the price, right? I don't know why. $10,000 off a mortgage is nothing. Literally nothing. Okay? $10,000 in closing costs, which saves your cash, is a lot. A seller, it's the same. Every dollar that they lose is a dollar they lost. What I often will do is I'll take big repair items, things that are problems. I will put them into escrow and I'll have repair companies fix those items outside of after the transaction's closed. The seller puts the money in there. If the money's not used, it gets returned to the seller. The buyer gets to use all that money with a licensed contractor to get all their items repaired, and it's a win for them. And they didn't have to deal with us doing it or picking the colors or yelling at the contractor they didn't do it right. None of that. It's a good way to handle a lot of things. Electrical problems, things like that. I will have panels repaired, all these sorts of problems, and I'll have my electrician send the bills to closing, and we'll pay it out through closing so the contractors get paid through the actual sale of the home. But the people on the other side are happy because all of it's done, and we didn't have to deal with $5,000, $10,000 guesses of who knows what. In the end, it loses your seller more money. Or your buyer ends up stuck because they got $5 off their mortgage every month, but they still have to pay for it all. It's not a win. Those are easy, simple tactics to use when we negotiate. I think we're about there, aren't we? 10:44. What questions do you guys got? I've talked for 2 hours. My voice is toast.
Sound great.
Does it sound okay? Did I tell you guys I have a wedding to officiate? Oh, dude, ain't no way. But I got that Dayquil and 3 more rock stars, and I'm going to crush it. It's going to be good. What questions do you got for me? Hit me.
As for that, the escrow account for repairs, like how does that look in like verbiage? What do you guys think?
Whoa. I think we would write, help me out, let me remember this. I don't know why my brain's just fogging on this one right now. It's like I just have to see it and I just start writing it. So I basically just say, buyer and seller agree $10,000 to be put in escrow for licensed contractor to repair deck Yeah, something like that. Buyer can withdraw. Seller agrees to put $10,000 in escrow. Buyer will use licensed contractors to pay for repairs of roof. Your TC, they'll handle that crap, right? You guys still have a TC, right, Cameron? Yeah, like depending on each situation and how much it is and etc. Like it, all you have to remember is the wording of when you're negotiating it. You need to just ask. We'd like to put that money in escrow, and we'd like to draw from it. Title understands that they have to have a licensed contractor. They have to show the receipts. They can't go to the owner. And that's a big trick, right? You got your freaking Utah County do-it-yourselfers, and they're like, I got this. And you're like, no, you don't have this. Otherwise, you don't get the money. You got to use contractor. That was a great question, Rebecca. What else we got?
I got a question. Less about this, but more so about like some resources.
Hit me.
You gave us one book. Like, what are some of the best things you found that have helped your negotiations?
Spend as much time as you can with our inspectors. Jared Fenn is a pillar to post. He's upstairs. I was in Cameron's role years ago, and I would always ask our new agents that were eager and excited. I would say, Jared is more than happy to let you shadow. Just watch him do an actual full inspection for 5 hours. He loves because it builds his business, right, of how to do it. So reach out to Jared Fenn. Just say, I'm on the PC team, and may I ask for the inconvenience of just shadowing you guys on one of your inspections. I just want to see what it looks like to just do a full inspection. I'll buy you lunch. He'll probably deny the lunch and buy you lunch, but I spend a lot of time just educating myself in that area. Educate, understand, know your houses. Parade of Homes is very different for me to walk through. I look for styles. I look for colors. I don't look for how cool the house is, right? Your other powerful thing, build. Do you know what a subcontractor, a sub is? Yes. Build your list of subs. You need subs all the time. And you need to have a list of subs that you can trust to send to people. The subs that I try to use the same ones. So when I call this guy, I'm not going to give you his name. Sorry, on this one, I keep this one held because he likes to keep his business at a certain size. It's really odd. He'll smoke every single HVAC person out there. And when I reach out to him and send him a problem from an inspection or something, he tells me the price he is honored, he will honor, and he will do it for repair. And that price is always fair, awesome, and amazing. And you need people like that. So find them. They're out there. You're any hour, you're more expensive generally, sometimes more expensive on those things. So nothing against them, but like you want to have a resource to reach out to when a furnace comes back shot. And they're like, it's $10,000 for a furnace. And you're like, what the fuck? No, I can replace a furnace for $2,500 because I have a good contact. Home warranty guys are a great resource also. Reach out to home warranty guys and understand their process of how their claims work. I use Corey Zimmerman. Elevate. So we still work a lot with Elevate as a team. Yeah. Yep. Now, what you want to understand is when you're going to lunch with those guys, you're trying to ask questions about their process of how they do the repairs and how they do it. Because, you're trying to learn how to negotiate. So you're trying to learn how to get the resources of what you can use for your clients. Become an expert in that. New builds, same thing. Just know the process. Google it. ChatGPT, the process of building a home. Know the actual layout. Like Rebecca over here can know, because of her history of doing tiny homes, she knows once you pass 4-way, what happens after that. Your clients want to know that too. They want to ask. They want to say, what's after 4-way? What is a 4-way? 4-way is your rough inspection for your framing, your electrical, your plumbing, and your HVAC services. So it's the 4 big items. And once they finish that, they get to do insulation. So got to pass that inspection. Then they put up insulation, drywall, boom. From there it flies. Drywall goes up, bam, they're starting to paint. As soon as paint goes up, they're ordering flooring. Cabinets start to come in. Things get wild. So it moves fast after that. But your 4-way inspection is your big one. So study things like that. Just get on and read some random things about building and ask builders to hang out. I spend a lot of time just knowing how people do remodels. You literally saw me at the beginning tell Jessica I need to get those plans from her. Why? Because it's just things I'm interested in learning and understanding. Because I'm in the process of studying laws about ADUs and what cities are best to build tiny homes on. Because my clients are going to want it. I'm going to make money doing it. It's how we make money, my friends. Cameron, do we have a marked for the 17th of July? What?
I haven't told them about it, so you tell them.
You three are the first ones to know. Sorry, my head's brushing. On the 17th of July, you guys are going to come, if you would like to Midway, to one of my flips. It is 6,100 square feet. It was rotted out completely with mold on the front. By the time you get there, the siding is already back on. Stonework will be done. Landscaping is being done right now. And we will be in mid-process of painting, I hope. Cross my fingers. I'll have painters on the job. I will walk you through my process of what I do when I take on houses to renovate them. Things that I do for it. And the resources I use. It's really good. So the 17th. It's a field trip. It'll be really fun. I gotta get these off because I got a cough.